Good evening. Welcome to another session of the Sea of Glass. Tonight we're going to the book of Leviticus. And I'd like to say first that we are over here to speak the truth. We don't care about people's opinion. We don't care about people telling us that it's not true. We don't want to hear that. We're over here to speak the truth, and the truth, if it offends you, turn it to another station. Because, we're over here to speak the truth for the future. We're talking about the new world. We're talking about the way the new earth is going to work and the new heaven is going to work. And that's all that I come here for. I don't come here to impress no one or to agree with anyone. Okay, Rita, go ahead, read.
As Roger said, we're reading out of the book of Leviticus in the Old Testament. The death of Nadab and Abihu.
That's chapter 10, right?
That would be chapter 10.
Yeah.
Aaron's sons, Nadab and Abihu, took their censers, put fire in them, and added incense. And they offered unauthorized fire before the Lord, contrary to his command. So fire came out from the presence of the Lord and consumed them, and they died before the Lord.
Okay, let's understand the two sons of Aaron, the two sons that are being killed by the Lord. The Lord don't kill people the way people think they kill people. They kill the spirit. A spiritual understanding has been murdered. God kills it because it's not true, and it's not going to make people happy in this world. It's going to make people miserable. So here you have the two sons of Aaron, and you have the other two sons, Eleazar, and the other one's name there is so hard to, I don't know when they came with common name that would be so easy to, but anyway, the Lord, these people made love like the love of the mind. You see, the Lord forbids people to fall in love with one another. You're not supposed to fall in love with it. You're supposed to love people accordingly to the understanding of life on earth, not to destroy, not to fall in love. Now, that whole stuff about, the charming prince and the perfect princess and meeting together, and it's a wedding made in heaven, that is not true. I'm telling you right now, that's not true. You see, love, you're not supposed to take love and fall in love with a woman and cherish your life with her forever and ever. That's not the truth. That is a bunch of baloney. Anybody that breaks that rule will suffer tremendously from their house. You're supposed to love people according to the laws of God, not to the love of man, not to the stupidity of the dreamer, not to the understanding. So you have two types of love over here. You have the love of man and woman that people have to fall in love. It's nice to have a good partner in life, a person you can trust, a person that's on your side, but you're not supposed to go deep into an understanding what this person is an obsession for you. It becomes an evil deed. And when it becomes an evil deed, and I don't care what anybody said over there, the Christian idea of marriage there is a falsehood. And I'm telling you right now, it's not going into the new world. It's not going into the new heaven. And it's not going to be part of the new earth. It's got to be destroyed. God is going to destroy it because it's not an understanding that people has to fall in love. Now, the second one, the second son here, there's two sons that being, it's falling in love with president, popes, preachers, priests, anything that you fall in love with, you know what I mean, in the understanding, it's not the truth. You can't offer that to the Lord. You can't offer that as love. Love is a person that loves in the individual. He loves everybody the same, and you love people. That's the love that the Lord tells you. That's the love that Eleazar is. It's to love everybody. And you're not supposed to select women in your life or select man. There's people in your heart that you think that are more to get along with than these people. But try to understand that all woman has feelings. All man has feelings. And when you hurt those feelings in the understanding, you're breaking the laws of God. Because if you favor everybody, that you think are pretty and all that, that's not fair for those that are not pretty, for those that are big and fat. And you're supposed to love people as a person that love in the understanding of reality. You're supposed to stand on your feet. Don't fall for love in the way that these people do, because if you do, you're breaking the laws of God. What's breaking the laws of God? Breaking the laws of God is breaking the laws of the human heart. Because you're breaking somebody's heart when you do that. When you only select one person in your life and the rest of your life, you're supposed to love all people equally in the understanding of love. It's a challenge to love, but look at the people that falls in love. 5 years down the road, they hate each other. They're ready to kill each other. The people that are really substitute to that crazy love has a miserable life on it. You become a piece of furniture in the house. Nobody listens to you. You're not really in the understanding of reality. Mike, you got anything to add to this?
See, now these are the sons of Aaron. Now, we're going to break it down here so you can understand how it works and why it's put up this way. Now, Aaron is the brother of Moses. And as we know, we always say on this show, Moses is the lawgiver. That's the part inside of you that receives the law from the Lord. The part that goes between your feelings and the Lord. The feelings that you have, which you don't really understand. So you need to go get the law to understand your feeling. Now, the brother of Moses, now remember, these are in spiritual terms. So the brother of Moses is Aaron, and that's love. And the reason why is it's because you need love to understand the laws in truth. You have to understand the laws using love, because that means when you truly love people, that means you want the best for them. Even if it's not what you want to have happen, but you want the best for them. I always say in my prayers, and I always say to people, when I do that, people should get exactly what they deserve out of life, for better or for worse, because I believe that's how you truly love people, is to say, okay, well, if they're going to go spend all their money at the casino and not pay their bills, they deserve to have financial problems, because this is what they believe in and what they chose to do. So it may not be the popular idea what a lot of people think, and they may think, well, I want them to snap out of it and not have their addictions and all the things wrong with them, but that's not true love. In my opinion, true love is that people should get what they deserve. So that's important. And you notice love, Aaron, which is love, is the brother of Moses, which is on an equal footing, because it's a brother. So that's why you have Aaron that is referenced here. Now, to talk about the children of Aaron. Now, what is the children of Aaron? Remember, this in spiritual terms. Your children in spiritual terms are the result of what you believe in, because they're your offspring. So just like in the physical sense, when a man and a woman get together and produce a child, the same thing in the spiritual sense, your man and the woman, the spirit and the mind, get together and produce a child spiritually, which means this is what we believe in, and this is the result of that. So the result based on what you believe in spiritual term is your child. Now, there's 4 children being referenced here, and the first 2, that means that this is a belief based on love, okay, because it's Aaron. So this is the wrong idea of what love is, because obviously the Lord destroyed them because they are not offerings that are pleasing to the Lord. And it goes against the Lord's teaching. So this is why you understand that this is love, and you understand it's the wrong belief about love. Now, like Roger said, the wrong belief about love. Now, there's nothing wrong with having, you have feelings and you prefer somebody over somebody else, but that's just your natural feeling. But that doesn't mean that people aren't all equal. Everybody is equal, and you should treat them as equal. Just because you have feeling to be with somebody over somebody else doesn't mean the other person is no good. It's just different. So you don't put somebody above somebody else or below somebody else, and that's in your relationship. But It's just different based on how you feel. But it doesn't mean they're any better or any worse. And the other type of love, like he said, it's worshiping people, saying, well, this musician or this movie star is better than everybody else, or this politician or this priest or this teacher or whatever, because you worship them and you put them above other people. Every person on this earth is just the same as everybody else, from the richest to the poorest, from the tallest to the shortest, the youngest to the oldest. It's just different. Everybody is different, and nobody's any better than anybody else. And you have to approach with that kind of love, because that's the kind of love that does not get destroyed by the Lord, because that kind of love is true. And that's what we're talking about here. That's why it's broken down in this way, because this is exactly how it's supposed to be. And if you understand it in this way, which is the truth, then you understand how to love and how to make the offering is pleasing to the Lord. And we're going to see more as we go along. Go ahead, Rita.
Moses then said to Aaron, "This is what the Lord spoke of when he said, 'Among those who approach me, I will show myself holy. In the sight of all the people, I will be honored.'" Aaron remained silent. Moses summoned Mishael and Elzaphan, sons of Aaron's uncle Uzziel, and said to them, "Come here, carry your cousins outside the camp, away from the front of the sanctuary." So they came and carried them, still in their tunics, outside the camp, as Moses ordered.
You can understand now. You can't bring this into the sanctuary of the Lord. The Lord has the understanding of a pure heart. You know, this is what you got to do to worship the Lord. You got to worship him in the way he tells you to worship the truth. You know, people don't realize that when you fall in love with someone, you have to pay for that along your life. You cannot fall in love because you're breaking the laws of God. And when you break the laws of God, then this here, you know, the understanding. The love of Christianity that they talk about, love and marriage, is a bunch of crap. You know, it's not the truth. It's not what it is. The truth is, if you want to go to the sanctuary of the Lord and try to understand his law in the way of the understanding of spiritual value, you have to come to understand how to love people. You love people in a way that you are within yourself fair to all people. You see, what makes, you know, the thing clean now is fairness and it's justice. You see, that's what love comes from. It comes from fairness and justice, and you have to unite the world, not divide it. Not weight people on weight and say this person is no good because she's fat. This person is no good because, you know, she don't look good. She's not a good-looking person. You know, you are not allowed to do that. You're allowed to love people accordingly. Love people in the way that all human beings are treated fairly. You know, if it's an old woman that looks at you and she's, you know, she's kind of, you know, has feelings for you, you cannot reject her because you're breaking her heart. And it's not clean to break people's heart. If you want to live in the spiritual value of cleanness and in the power of yourself, you have to love according to the laws of God, because you're not intelligent enough to make laws on your own. People with opinion are nothing more than people that don't understand. And opinion is not value in the teaching of the law. Opinion, you can say, well, I disagree with you. You can disagree with me all you want, but the power of something has to be pure in the understanding of all human beings on the face of this earth. You cannot dislike someone and like someone. You know, this is, you know, taking the laws into your own hand, and it's not the way it works in the truth. You know what I mean? To take these power and to favor people over another, or to disregard someone because they don't look good or they don't. You see, this is what it's all about. God killed those two sons. And you know what that means when he said, I killed them? It means in your heart, when you fall in love with someone, there's a dead feeling there. It's not these kids that the Lord just killed. It's your feeling forever and ever. That is an aroma from the Lord for all generation to come, because it's inside of you. You kill someone, inside of you, there's a dead spirit there. And 4 or 5 years down the road, you're going to start arguing with each other. You're going to start doing this. Then you're going to start hating each other because you're tied together in the stupidity of what Christianity has preached. I don't think that in all the sin of Christianity, marriage is the worst thing that people can understand, because it destroyed the soul of a human being. It destroyed the power to understand justice. It destroyed the power to be fair with others. It destroyed the power of united people together in love. When you have a whole crowd of people there, you see, I love each one of them in the same way. You see, you have to work on yourself. People don't realize that this stuff don't come free. It comes from changing your feelings of total stupidity into total intelligence. And once you do that, you're bringing inside of a human being the value of justice. Because if you see a woman that don't look good, and you didn't flirt with her a little bit or do something, you know what I mean? She feels good about it, because nobody looks at her. It's so important for you to flirt with different type of people. You don't have to, have sex with them. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about sex. I'm talking about love. Love is to love a person inside the human heart that you have, without being prejudiced or without being, sarcastic about it, without destroying the other person's appearance. You have to love. And love is so important, that you love in yourself for the value of what you are, in justice and in fairness. If you're not fair with people, the Lord will not be fair with you. Whatever you do to others will be done unto you. This is the word that's telling you that you're not allowed to dislike people because of the way you think they look, because of your opinion. Opinion is not important, and I want to condemn opinion here, because opinion of people think that because they have an opinion over someone, that they're right and the other person is wrong. Hey, that's not true at all. That's the biggest mistake that you can possibly do in life, the biggest sin that you can do in life, because if you form an opinion against somebody else's value, you are in deep trouble. And then you're going to have a hard time to find someone in your life to live with you. You're going to have a hard time to find something in life, because it's not important for you to be a person with a heart that is totally black in stupidity and ignorance. And we can see out there by reading the paper, listening to the news and everything else, the way people feel about each other. They fall in love with this guy, and then the guy beat the shit out of him, and they can't get away from him. Because you break the laws. You're breaking the laws all the time. You're not being fair and just with people. Don't look at people and select people. This one is better than this one. I'm going to love this guy because he's got a nice smile, nice build. This is baloney. Flirt with everybody, I tell you, and be kind to everybody. You don't have to look at people like there's some kind of a disaster in the middle of nothing. And, I walk at the park every day. And I see people, you tell them good morning, they don't even answer you, because they're so afraid that you may think that you think about sex with them. When you say be nice to people, be great to people, be fair with people, and treat the people with justice. And that's the way you got to love people. Not in the stupidity of that crazy love that people has made, the nice Prince Charming and the beautiful, princess, and a match made in heaven. It does not exist. It's a big, fat lie that comes out of the mouth of the false prophet. You got anything else to add, Mike?
See, now, we talk about that these are beliefs that go against the law. Now, we also, what I didn't say the first time around, and I'm going to say now is they talk about, okay, well, the sons of Moses are made an offering to the Lord. Now, what does that mean? When they make an offering to the Lord, it means that, okay, they're offering something to the Lord. So it means they're looking for the Lord's approval to say, okay, well, the Lord is going to think this is okay. So, but again, I remember I said this was the belief about love, and it was the false belief about love, but they're making the offering to the Lord. So people think that it's okay to do these things, to say, well, no, I'm going to get married like they do in organized religion. I'm going to sell my soul to somebody, or I'm going to worship that actress or that politician or that athlete or that baseball player or that hockey player. But this is not what you're supposed to do. And the Lord kills it. Now, it's important to understand that the Lord kills it, which means the Lord, it doesn't matter what you believe, just like Roger said about opinion. The Lord kills it because it's not true. So the Lord has killed it because it's not true when you make that offering to the Lord and you believe that it's okay to do, which means sooner or later you're going to do it, then the Lord kills it. So therefore, that shows you that it's not true, and you have problems with it because it's not pure. So the Lord has killed it. Now the next step is, the Lord said you have to remove that, well, Moses said you have to remove that from the camp, okay? Which means you have to remove that from what you believe. The Lord has already killed it, because it's not true and it doesn't go along with the proper worship of the Lord, and it doesn't go along with the truth. So, but now you have to remove it from the camp. You have to stop believing in that. And that's what it's talking about. Get it out. Don't put it anywhere near the sanctuary. Get it out from the camp and get rid of it, because you need to cast it aside from what you believe. And that's what's important to know here too, is that it's very important that as soon as the Lord has killed it, and has shown you that, no, this doesn't work, it's not true. Now it's your responsibility. You have to move it from the camp and get it out from what you believe, because this will help to purify you and help you to understand in truth, just like Roger said earlier again, that, love is based on justice and fairness and unity. It has to be just, it has to be fair, and it has to unite. So when you treat everybody as equal, you're uniting people. You're not saying this woman, is ugly, or this man is ugly, or they're not intelligent, or they don't dress right, or they don't, these are, or I don't find them as attractive as this other person. That's doesn't unite people, that separates people. Or I don't like the color of their skin, or the car they drive, or the team they root for, or the amount of money they have. That does not unite people. And the thing is, so it's not really love. You have to treat everybody as an equal. Now, you're going to have feelings to be with somebody instead of somebody else, but you can still do that while you treat people as equal. And that's the whole point. Realize that this one's not better than the other just because, you have feeling to be with them. The other person is just as fine. So you can flirt with everybody. And you can honor everybody's feeling toward you in the way that they should be honored. And we're going to see more as we go along. Go ahead, Rita.
Then Moses said to Aaron and his sons Eleazar and Ithamar, "Do not let your hair become unkempt, and do not tear your clothes, or you will die, and the Lord will be angry with the whole community. But your relatives, all the house of Israel, may mourn for those the Lord has destroyed by fire. Do not leave the entrance to the tent of meeting, or you will die, because the Lord's anointing oil is on you." So they did as Moses said.
You got to understand the power here. This is a great, great power of the scriptures right here, to take and to kill these phony loving things that people do. You got to kill the phoniness. Every time you're phony about something, every time that you're not serious about something, you think you're right because you feel a little bit better because this woman made you feel good. But you see, these are feelings that destroys you. These are feelings. People got married, in the past, and I remember people getting married for various reasons. They don't get married for the power. They get married because they want to fall in love, you see. They want to be in love, and they want this person that they made up to be some kind of a, some kind of a God above them that's going to cherish them, that's going to love them. You see, even the marriage vow is so evil, it's almost unbelievable. Because you're promising someone to someone that you're not going to do. It's a big lie. You don't cherish people for the rest of your life, and you don't fall in love in the way that they think is love. Oh, you got to be good to your husband. You got to be good to your wife. You got to be good. It's not the thing that being good. It's the thing of the phoniness of stupidity and ignorance that lives in your heart. That you think that you're going to get this perfect life with the Prince Charming. You're going to get this princess of beauty inside your life. You don't know that she's going to get growing bigger and bigger as she got kids, and you're not going to like her no more, and you're not going to feel for her. You're not going to feel for your sexuality. You're not going to feel for that. You know why? Because inside your soul, you were not created that way. If you're not created that way, you're breaking the power that a person you made up an opinion over the laws. Every time you make an opinion over the laws and you bring that opinion to the power of yourself, you're breaking the laws, how to feel, how to understand. You see, people don't realize that if you break the laws of feelings, you have to pay for that. And you have to pay for that with hard luck. It's going to be hard luck on you. It's going to be in the understanding, because you broke the laws of feelings. And when you break the laws of feeling, you're breaking the laws of God, because God is feeling inside of you. And every time you break the laws that you were created by, you're going to be hurting. You're going to have problems with your life. You're going to have children that are going to hate you. You're going to have power inside yourself because you made your bed in a bunch of lies. And you don't know why all these things happen to you. I was talking to a woman the other day, and she told me, oh, my God, all I wanted in life is to fall in love and have a great man and have good kids and all that. And everything went to pieces. Why? Because you broke the law. If you break the law and then you have to get a divorce from someone, if you didn't marry him, you wouldn't have to get a divorce. The thing is that you want to respect people with the understanding of the law. That's a different story. Because at that point, you have a pure heart. You don't fall in love with people, and you don't sell your soul to other people. You take your soul for yourself, and you try to learn from your soul how to feel with each other. This is how you work. You cannot change the feeling that's inside of you. You have to come to understand these feelings that's inside of you, so you can live a house in purity. You can live a house in the wisdom of the wise. You don't have to be married to a stupid idiot in order to have a vow made on them that you're destroying your life loving a person that makes no sense to you. The guy comes and beat the hell out of you. There was one in the paper today. He beat the hell out of you. He almost killed this woman. Why? Because he's angry. Because he has an opinion that a woman should be, and he's trying to make this woman under his control. And the woman probably do the same thing. You see, you can't bring people out of your control. People have feelings. Those feelings come from the Lord. You're not supposed to try people's feelings. And you're not supposed to worship the other part of the second son here. You're not supposed to worship people that are in high office. People that are a pope. Oh, my God, a pope. A pope is a false prophet, according to the Lord. All the priests are false prophets, and all the preachers are false prophets. So if you worship them, you worship false prophets, false prophecy. You're breaking the laws of the great power of yourself. You're supposed to have a tent in here, and all the laws should be underneath the tent of the Lord. That's why they took these guys out of the tent, because they don't belong there. The truth is that the power of a human being that's inside of you is to be able to understand these feelings that you live inside of yourself. You got to be able to understand why that these feelings are inside of you. If a woman start hating her husband with passion, ready to kill him, there's a reason why. There's a reason why a man wants to kill his wife, because he's sick of her, because he can't stand her, and they build an old nest of money together. He doesn't want to give it up. You know, there's all kinds of different things, and I've seen preacher kill their wife so they can be with their lovers, you know, because they can't stand the passion of understanding, oh, I love Jesus. You love Jesus, all right, but you sure don't love people, you know. You know, people are totally different from the understanding of the stupidity and the ignorance that comes inside of a human soul. You are inside yourself to feel the feelings that you have for yourself, and you have to learn to understand them. And they don't belong to nobody else. They belong to you and you alone. God sends you a special feeling. You should appreciate them, try to understand them, and try to love in the understanding that the Lord has created you in. Okay, Mike, you got anything?
See, now Moses goes to the other sons of Aaron, the ones that didn't get killed. And he says to them, you have to be careful. Don't let your hair get messed up. Don't let your clothes get ripped. In other words, stay just the way that you are, because you're on the side of truth. Be careful that you don't turn away from the truth that you understand to be. And this is the ones that approach love. These are the true ideas, the right ideas about love, the ones that make sense. So, as opposed to the ones that didn't. And so this is what he's telling them, that they have to be careful, and you can't leave the camp. You have to stay, because you are the true ideas. Stay in the camp, which means don't leave by the entrance to the tent of meeting. So that means, in the spiritual term, those ideas, keep them inside of you, because those are the true ideas. Remember, the ideas that went against the Lord killed them because they were not true. So it's not about, well, I believe that you should get married, and I believe, no, the Lord kills them because they're not true, whether you believe them or not. When they enter inside of you and you decide to offer them to the Lord, to say, well, this is what I'm going to do, and the Lord kills those ideas because they're not true. So if you go get married, or if you decide that people that you think look pretty are better than ugly people, or smart people are better than simple, uneducated people, you will have to pay for those things if you believe those. And the Lord will kill those inside of you, and it won't work, and you will have problems because of it. And you don't realize it, but it happens all the time. So that's why these ideas that are on the side of the Lord are being told, okay, take care of yourself, stay inside by the tent of meeting, and don't let yourself become, messy or neat, with your hair is not messy and all that. Make sure that you carry yourself, because those are the ideas that work. So keep them up, so that you can have a good life in the understanding of truth. And we're going to see more as we go on.
I want to say something about clothes here. Clothes is something that you cover yourself with, the truth. So I just want to mention that. Okay.
Then the Lord said to Aaron, you and your sons are not to drink wine or other fermented drink whenever you go into the tent of meeting, or you will die. This is a lasting ordinance for the generations to come. You must distinguish between the holy and the common, between the unclean and the clean, and you must teach the Israelites all the decrees the Lord has given them through Moses.
You see, the high priest that we see in life and with the mind, we see the priest of the church and the cardinal, and we see the people that are in office in religion, and the people that are office in government, and the great people that is, to admire the rich, the billionaire, and everything else. You see, those are the four-winged creatures right there. To be good in business, to make a lot of money, to be a good religious person, to be a person that, that tried to destroy the government by the way we see it right now, is trying to destroy the understanding. Now, these things were made by God, and I agree with you that these things were brought, but it was not all made for the purpose of happiness. I can tell you that. It's not made for happiness, because if it was made for happiness, you would be perfectly happy. And the reason that it's not made for, perfect happiness is because you were not made to be perfect in the understanding until you learn it. You only can have a little bit of perfectness after you learn them. You got to learn to understand the laws so you can go and express the laws around you in your life. Now, they say that a person that flirts around with people is not a good person. Well, this is totally under the understanding that it's nice to flirt with people, because you make people think that they have some kind of a value. That's what I'm telling you. Now, you may be doing that for sex or something else, flirting with people, but the basic power of being able to understand how to flirt with other people in the reality of truth, you got to come to understand. Your sexuality is holy. It's not a sin. It's not something that was condemned by God, because religion look at adultery in the way of stupidity and ignorance, you know what I mean? And they think that, if you have sex with another woman outside marriage, you're going to commit adultery. Well, that's not true, because the first rule of it is marriage. It's not true. It's a lie. It's the second beast of the book of Revelation. You're selling your soul to someone. It tells you there, if you're wise, you will understand the name of the man, which is husband and wife and children, perfect, perfect, perfect. You got to come to understand that the fire, it was thrown into the fire, because fire is the lies of the world. Fire means that you base your understanding and your fraction power of yourself into the bunch of lies that was made up by religion, made up by organized religion, people. You see, you're not supposed to live according to the Catholic Church. You're not supposed to live according to the Christianity. These are religion. You're not supposed to be a Muslim. You're not supposed to be a Catholic. You're not supposed to be anything. Because you are and you can't change yourself doesn't mean that you're supposed to be. Oh, I was raised Catholic. I'm going to remain Catholic until I die. That's baloney. That's not the truth, The truth is, honey, could you fix my earpiece? Anyway, you see, the power of the truth overrule these things, because inside of you, there's the feelings that tells you what is true, what is not true. And then there's the rule of religion that tells you, well, you have to listen to us because we are in front of God telling you what to do. You see, this is what the Lord don't like. This is what is a real painful, sinful thing in your life, is to practice a religion that doesn't make sense, but you believe it because somebody said it, and it was somebody important in your little mind of stupidity and ignorance that lives inside of you. What happened to this guy? Why? Why did this guy made you believe something that you don't understand? God is the truth, and the truth is God. You cannot change that in the understanding of life on earth. You got to go to the power of yourself to understand what it is in the understanding of love. Mike, you got anything?
Yeah, read that first part again, because about where it talks about drinking the wine.
Yeah. Then the Lord said to Aaron, "You and your sons are not to drink wine or other fermented drink whenever you go into the tent of meeting, or you will die."
Go ahead, Rodney.
Yeah, you want me to explain that? Okay, I forgot to explain it. You see, if you drink wine, is an understanding. The blood of Christ was understanding. The Word of God was the bread. The understanding is the wine, okay? And you have the power in yourself to understand something. But if you don't go with the feelings inside of you and understand something that somebody made up along the way, or an opinion of someone, see what happens is it becomes wine that has a strong power. You know, the strong power should be here, not in the soul of these people with opinion, but you follow the opinion of people, which is not a wine that comes from the feeling that's inside of you. Okay?
So they said you're not allowed to drink. When you enter the tent of meeting, when you go in here, you're not allowed to drink wine or any fermented drink, or you will die. So when I'm having trouble to put into words.
See, you got to understand that the wine is a fermented drink. If you believe something that's outside the truth, you know what I mean?
Right.
And you believe it, it's become a wine. You know, it become a new understanding for you.
That's what I'm trying to say. Thank you. If you go inside yourself and you believe something that's not true, which is the fermented drink, because that's what they're talking about, the fermented drink, because it has fermented, which means it has not become, it is not pure anymore. So the understanding is not pure, and so what you have to do is, if you believe that, you're going to die, because the Lord will kill you, because just like he killed the other brothers, the other sons of Aaron, because they were outside of the truth. So you have to always believe the truth. When you go in the tent of meeting, when you go to understand what the truth is, you have to accept and believe the truth, the understanding of what the truth is, or you will die just like the other brothers did, because it was untrue. But we're talking about the understanding, the beliefs, the ideas that are not true, that go against the Lord. And that's what's important to take away from this when they talk about the wine. The wine is the understanding, and you need to understand what's true, but don't understand on the side that's not true, or those ideas will be killed by the Lord. Which now again I'm gonna go over that again. What that means is you're going to have problems, just like the people that get married, or the people that are prejudiced, or they think that some people are better than other people, and that's the problem. Is that's because they have problems in life, whether they realize it or not. They have problems. But a lot of people I talk to, they say, well, it's just a part of life, and it's just the way it is, because it's been like that for so long, for thousands of years. People don't realize that, no, it's not just the way it is. It's the way it is because they go on the wrong side of the laws of the Lord, the wrong side of love, but it doesn't the way it has to be. And it's not the way that it always will be. If you understand the truth, then you will be okay, and the Lord will bless you and look favor upon your offering, because you're offering something that's pure. And that's what you take away from this part about drinking the wine. Go ahead, Rita.
And one thing I want to say about the fermented wine there. What's fermented is what people used to believe for years and years in the past. Because when you have wine that comes and it's an old wine, people like to drink it because it has a good taste. You see what I mean? So you got to be careful not to believe what people believe from the past. You have to believe what you feel right now. This is where it is. Go ahead, Rita.
Moses said to Aaron and his remaining sons, Eleazar and Ithamar, "Take the grain offering left over from the offerings made to the Lord by fire, and eat it prepared without yeast beside the altar, for it is most holy. Eat it in the holy place, because it is your share and your son's share of the offerings made to the Lord by fire, for so I have been commanded."
Okay, you got to come to understand the power here. It's so powerful. This teaching is so powerful because it gives you. Now, the Lord tells you that you're not allowed to believe anything that's away from the truth, inside the power of a human being. You know what I mean? If it's not inside of you, if it doesn't make sense to your heart, it's not true. It's not pure. When it's not pure, it means it has something in there that, people taught you. You see, loving God is loving the understanding that's inside of you. And when you love the understanding that's inside of you, because it's the truth, you will love God. This is the way it goes. And if it's not pure, then what's going to happen inside your soul? it's gonna crush you. It's like eating the bread that the Catholic Church offers people there. How can that be true? Somebody made a magician, a person make a magic spell on a piece of bread, and you eat that. And it's not true because that bread has no power inside of yourself. It doesn't do nothing. But these people tell you that it does mean something because they're magician, they're false prophet. They pervert the truth. They do not accept the power of the truth. So what they do is they break the understanding of the truth and form an opinion of their own with it and say, oh, I believe that. Well, I'm sorry to say so, but you're going to have a miserable life on earth. You're not going to have a life of truth, a life of reality. You're not going to have a light that gives you the understanding of this great glory that intelligence is. What is in this world? The power to understand what God has made. See, God has created a form of intelligence. You listen to Christianity, God created everything. But the form of intelligence, God has created a way for humanity, for the animals to think. This is what God has created. An understanding that is perfect, even for the human beings. A human being can raise himself to this power that everything that he believes is from the purity of intelligence that is the truth. But if you don't believe, if you believe that some guy gives you a piece of bread that made a curse on it, and you eat that, and you're going to be wise for the rest of your life, well, I'm sorry, but it's not true. You can go to communion all your life, and it doesn't do nothing here. If it was something that was true, it would do something here because it would be pure, and your intelligence would fit in with it, perfectly fit. It's like those forensic file there. They said that hair perfectly, it fits together. See, this is the way it is. Like your fingerprints, it's a perfect image of your finger. If it doesn't match, then they got to say, well, the guy didn't do it. You know what I mean? But if it does match, and it does make the difference between the power of life and the power of stupidity on earth, well, you see, this is what it's all about. God said, I'm forming an intelligence. It's going to take thousands of years for the human race to understand it, because for 6,000 years right now, the world is trying to understand that, and they could not do it because there was a barrier between the stupidity of the mind, and the understanding of the wine of the Spirit. There was an opinion. Opinion has been at war with feelings forever. They're the two people, the two things in life that fight each other all the time. Opinion is unclean. It's not true because it comes from the mind. When you have the feelings inside your soul to prove the intelligence that you have within yourself, then the great power of yourself is there for you. Go ahead, Mike.
See, again, this is important to understand because it's the truth. When they talk about, going back to what was talked about earlier about the wine, that's the fermented wine. That's the one that sits around. And like Roger said, with the wine, people like the wine that's aged because it tastes better, or any fermented drink like whiskey or scotch because it's aged, it's more mellow, it tastes better. But in the spiritual term, that's what they're telling you is if it sits around, if it's an old idea, it's not because it's an old idea that you believe it. It's because it's what you feel right now. So that doesn't mean that all the old ideas, because the truth has been around forever and it's the oldest of the ideas. So it doesn't mean that you should throw the truth out because it's old. It means, what do you feel right now? So when you think of, like I have people tell me, well, Christianity's been around for thousands of years and the Jewish faith has been around for thousands of years, so they have more more weight and more truth because they've been around for years than the stuff you say on your show. But this is what we're talking about. It's not because it's old and it sits around that it's better. It's because it's the truth that it's better. And that's the thing. But people will have the old understanding just because it's the old understanding. And that's what is being forbidden when they talk about that here. When you go into the tent of meeting to meet the Lord and to worship the Lord, you have to do it with the new understanding. What is new, what is current, what's going on right now. And those things can change over time. And this is what we're seeing here, is that this is what your feeling is. So you need to change your feeling to be along the line of what the truth is, and then that's what you bring to the table. And we're going to see more. Go ahead, read.
But you and your sons and your daughters may eat the breast that was waved and the thigh that was presented. Eat them in a ceremonially clean place. They have been given to you and your children as your share of the Israelites' fellowship offerings. The thigh that was presented and the breast that was waved must be brought with the fat portions of the offerings made by fire to be waved before the Lord as a wave offering. This will be the regular share for you and your children, as the Lord has commanded.
You see, you got to come to understand the breast is what feeds the baby. The thigh is what feeds the stomach. The great power of something, milk and honey, the great glory of intelligence that we come to understand in this glorious moment of our life that we come to understand in the midst of the 21st century, where the 6,000 years of the stupidity of religion must come to an end. You know, this great power that we have inside ourselves to understand these scriptures now gives you an in into the truth. Before, there was no in into the truth. People could not figure out the truth because the truth was so far away from them that it was sealed. God has sealed it. Now he has opened it to some people in the understanding of the reality of the Lord himself. Yeah. Okay, we got one more minute. You want to add something, Mike?
I just want to say that to go inside of your heart and to ask the Lord to have the truth and the actual truth, and if your heart is pure and if you follow the laws of the Lord, not because we say so, but because they're the truth. Remember, we're not better than anybody else. But so go worship the Lord in truth, and you will get the thing that you ask for, which is the wisdom and the knowledge of love.
And I want to add to this that marriage is a fault. It's a curse of God on mankind. God has cursed the world with it because the world has not worshiped the Lord God. So God sent this great curse on humanity. People thought they had to be married in order to have their life extended to sex and everything else, but it's not true. You got to come to understand that the power of yourself that you have inside of your soul, it's to understand. And what is to understand is the glory of intelligence. To be able to understand that this great glory of a human being that we are inside ourselves has feelings. And those feelings tells you what is true. This is the most amazing thing about life. It's the heart. When their heart understands scriptures like these and the understanding of reality, it makes you feel like you are floating on wisdom and the understanding of life on earth. Thank you for tuning in. God bless you if you can understand what we're talking here. But if you curse us for what we do here, you will never be able to understand. Your opinion has no value whatsoever. You know,